Privacy is not safe.
A
random grown man just punched me.
This is probably going to be the most unpopular opinion on the internet, but I'm going to say it anyway because, well, I think it needs to be said. You had a man aggressively approach you. He told you that he hit bitches like you, and you kept talking. Now, when he approached you, you knew he approached you aggressively, so you had to know he was a threat. I don't understand how your spidey senses didn't tingle or nothing in you said danger. Will Robinson. Black men are murdering black women every 4.8 hours, and they don't have to know you. And you know this. I'm pretty sure you know this. And you kept talking. And in a condescending tone, no doubt, you said he was operating in his feminine energy. You didn't say it once, you said it twice. You called a grown man a bitch that was already acting aggressively. He was already a threat. You had no firearm. You had no bear spray. You had no penknife. You had nothing to protect yourself. And he asked for the okay from another man and said, was she with you? And he said, no, he wanted no parts of it. And you kept talking. Nothing in you said, let me turn around and go the other way. This man is a threat. Let me get into the nearest building because this man is a threat. And you kept talking and he hit you in your mouth. And you had nothing to protect yourself. Going forward, watch your surroundings. Going forward, when somebody approaches you aggressively, knowing what we know and what's happening to black women, get yourself somewhere safe. But for Pete's sake, stop running your mouth. That's what got you hit in your mouth.
Wow. Okay, so let's go over the few points that she made that were correct. Black women are being killed every 4.5 hours to 5 hours a day. It is best that you do not talk to an aggressive person who approaches you on the street, especially if you cannot fight or do not have a weapon. However, the blame and responsibility does not fall on this woman. Assuming that this encounter happened the way she said it did, whatever animal that approached her shouldn't have been on the streets in the first place. It's very clear that the criminals in New York are taking advantage of the lack of police on the street and the criminal justice reform laws that have made it easier for them to commit crimes and face less severe punishments. Overall, this was just a mammy saying she deserved what happened to her and that it was her fault. But she labeled it as a hard truth. Nope, we saw through your mammy ways, Kathy. So this post was made by John Witherspoon. He left a concerning comment that shows why the black community is so effed up with this logic, and by dusty black men walking around thinking that they can hit us with no recourse, because most of them won't even stand up when they see a black woman being attacked. And here's what John had to say. Based on this narrative she gave, it's evident she aided into him punching her. End of the day, we are only accountable for our actions. Whether she admits it or not, she could have possibly avoided this by not responding to him in that manner. Hell, she could have just apologized for stepping on his shoes and went across the street, but she chose to talk shit to someone who was obviously being aggressive. Here is where the lesson of being a thermometer versus a thermostat comes into play. A thermometer is based on the outside temperature. Outside entities such as people, events, actions, etc. Thermometer is controlled by its settings. A thermostat is controlled by you. You dictate what temperature settings you desire to be comfortable, not outside sources. People in life will purposely try to trigger you and push your buttons to get you out of your element, but it's up to you to allow those things to press you or not. In this particular moment, she chose to be a thermostat and she took his bait. Had she been a thermostat, she chose to be a thermometer and she took his bait. Had she been a thermostat, she wouldn't have allowed his comment or actions to press her and wouldn't have fed into it. Now, had she not said anything and walked across the street or into a local establishment to avoid him, this wouldn't have happened. It's still unfortunate the guy hit her, though, but there is a valuable lesson to be learned here. Be a thermostat and not a thermometer. John basically reiterated what Mammy Kathy said, which is it was her fault and she should have just walked away. He even went a step further in saying that she should have apologized. Look, nobody is going to apologize to someone who's being the aggressor towards them. However, I didn't expect much from John nor Kathy, because anything that is posted to this group will be on the side of the black male, and it's a lot of black male worshiping black women in this group. How about we put the blame on the assailant, the person who actually committed the crime? How about we advocate for no criminal justice reform, in that we advocate for more police on the street? How about we advocate for black men not putting their hands on women, especially black women? You see, that was the starting point that both John and Kathy should have started at, but they're not concerned about that. They just want to let us know that it's our fault if we do decide to say something back towards somebody who's being an aggressor towards us. Thanks for watching. Get in the comment section and tell me what you thought.